What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I'm your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode. Hey, what are we at? We are moving. See, we're moving on up. I'm having hard times remembering what episode we at. We are at episode. Come on now, load. 158. Let's give it a round of applause. 158. Moving on up there. I'm trying to get One Piece numbers. If y'all know what that means, good. If you don't, go watch some anime. But it's time to get into the show, the greatest afternoon show in the world. Now remember, just a little housekeeping first. If you ever disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment. This is not a show where I just want people to agree with me. Let's have a discussion about it. I might be understanding something wrong. I might be saying something wrong. But let's have a discussion and talk about it. Now, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, y'all. And we got a crazy selection of videos where y'all remember, we meet Monday through Friday, starting at 6 o'clock, where we go over 4 different topics. Sometimes 5, but it just depends on how I'm feeling or how long the show is running. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first topic we're going to be discussing today is we got to go back in time, back to 2021, where we had a random man throw acid on a young woman. Now, it looks like most recently, for some reason, her ex-boyfriend has been arrested in connection with the case. So we're going to get over into that and see what we can find out. But this is a wild situation. I wonder what the ex-boyfriend had to do with this whole situation. But let's jump over into it and see what we can find out about this whole case. Let's jump into it, y'all. Let's jump into it. Like always, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Let's see what it's talking about.
Man in a horrific acid attack on a college student in 2021. 31-year-old Shaquille Koch of Brooklyn appeared in court to face several serious charges. He is a former Hofstra student and the ex-boyfriend of the victim, Nafia Akram. Prosecutors say he allegedly orchestrated the attack due to his anger over their relationship. Long Island reporter Stacey Sager live in Elmont with more on this story. Stacey.
Well, you know, Dave, it was 5 years ago. Nafia Akram was only a feet away from the safety of her own home here in Elmont. And now, as you said, authorities have a second person in custody for this horrific acid attack, an acid attack that changed her life forever. Now, this is the man that they have now arrested. His name is 31-year-old Shaquille Koch. As you said, prosecutors are calling him her ex-boyfriend. But Nafia just told us, you know, they only went out on 2 dates, and she saw red flags, and that's putting it mildly. Now, this is Koch's high school friend, 29-year-old Terrell Campbell. He was the first one who was actually charged in this case back in February. Prosecutors say he's the one who threw the acid onto Nafia in this grainy video from 5 years ago, but they say that Koch was really bitter about Nafia not liking him enough. They say video and cell phone records will prove the connection from him to all of this, and it will prove that Koch was really the motivator here, the one who drove the getaway car, even though he has denied any involvement in this for years, including today. Here's what he and Nafia both told us.
Anything to say?
I'm innocent.
The fact that he thinks that he had the right to do that in itself and then create a whole fake scenario and all of that to make me deceptive and think that he's protective and I should stay with him because he's so protective of me. Like that in itself, you're delusional and you're diabolical. So that type of person, I just don't think, like how we were saying before, we don't need people like that on the street. And
This is a diabolical situation. Let's be honest now, how does a man who gets rejected by a girl, which all men go through it, end up getting so angry that you would throw acid on the girl who rejected you? Yeah, she's 100% right. You need to be locked up for the rest of your life. You seem crazy. But let's keep going into this.
I'm just really grateful that at least the person's in custody now, because that was my big fear from yesterday, that I was like, oh my God, like what if they don't arrest him, you know, those kinds of things. And I do also want to add in that I'm hoping that the way he felt about karma, how he said, I'm going to take karma into my own hands, that kind of thing, and thought he could do this, you reap what you sow.
And Shaquille Koch, like his co-defendant, now faces a host of charges. He's indicted by a grand jury. He's charged with first-degree assault, weapons possession, also possession of noxious materials. He's due back in court next month, but once again, just a remarkable development in a case that has now spanned 5 years. We're live in Elmont. I'm Stacey.
Now, one of the craziest things is just thinking about the best friend. What best friend is going to throw? I mean, I guess he got to be a down best friend, but that is crazy. Your homeboy come to you asking you to throw some acid on a girl who rejected him after 2 days. The world is a crazy place, y'all. The world is a crazy place. Let's get over into this next video and see if they give us some more details.
A young woman who has waited 5 years for closure says she finally has it. We have covered the acid attack on Long Island since the beginning, and tonight investigators are telling us they arrested a second person, and that person is her ex-boyfriend. As Carolyn Gussoff explains, police say he was motivated by jealousy.
I saw him and I started crying.
An emotional day for Nafia Ikram, who sat feet away from Shaquille Koch of Brooklyn, charged with the assault that left her disfigured and blind in one eye. Prosecutors say Koch was a jilted boyfriend who drove the getaway car after a second man threw acid in Ikram's face in her Elmont driveway.
At least finally I have the answers to of like who was behind it. And right now it's like anger, sadness, confusion.
His jealousy and obsession that were the real motive behind this crime.
Koch shook his head no as prosecutors detailed what they called his jealous, possessive behavior before the attack, including a fake social media account to message her.
He tried to trick Nafia into admitting that she cheated on him.
And after the attack, he allegedly taunted her with anonymous texts. Police initially interviewed Koch, but years later, tips in the case led to the arrest of Terrell Campbell. The two men were high school friends who prosecutors say plotted together on the day of the attack. Campbell, an aspiring rapper, later recorded this.
Try to run up and have your face burned in acid.
Koch, a soon-to-be registered nurse, faces 25 years on assault charges and was ordered held without bail.
Not guilty, and this is a presumption of innocence.
Ikram says the two dated just twice.
He's a demon, number one. And number two, the fact that he thinks that he had the right to do that, you're delusional and you're diabolical.
The DA believes this will come within the 5-year statute of limitations and hopes this pair of arrests will finally bring Ikram peace. In Elmont, Long Island.
Now, I wonder, my main question is, will they charge him with the same thing? Because in some places, they got the hands of one, hands of all. So basically, if he planned it, even though he didn't actually throw the stuff on her, he should be charged just the same as him. And at the end of the day, these are some people who don't need to be out and seeing the light of day, be honestly. Let's keep going into this and look at this one more video.
Now to that horrific acid attack on Long Island. Today, police made a second arrest in the 5-year-old case.
And Fox 5's Jody Goldberg is live in Elmont, Long Island, with more on this arrest and what the victim is saying tonight. Jody.
Ladies, we just spoke with that victim, Nafia Ikram, and she tells me she only went on 2 dates with the defendant, and then she started distancing herself. New tips and cell phone records, including 8,000 text messages about Ikram on this defendant's phone, ultimately led to his arrest. Anything to say?
I'm innocent.
And now Shaquille Koch, who you just heard from, insisted he is innocent as he walked inside a Nassau County courtroom. Prosecutors say the 31-year-old orchestrated a calculated and cruel acid attack that left Nafia Ikram blind in one eye and severely scarred for life. For 5 years, investigators hope this surveillance video showing a man jumping out of a red Nissan Altima before throwing acid at Ikram as she walked into her Elmont home would help solve the case, but it wasn't until tips came in late last this year, rather, that the investigation regained momentum. Last month, police arrested 29-year-old Terrell Campbell. Prosecutors say he's the one who threw the acid, but it was Koch who planned and plotted the attack and drove the getaway car with his high school friend, all because he couldn't cope with the breakup and wanted to humiliate Ikram. Prosecutors say Koch and Ikram met at Hofstra. He allegedly created a fake social media account, sent threatening text messages to her, and searched online for where she worked and how to track her location the night of the attack.
After Campbell was arrested, Koch, interviewed by the police, admitted that he told Campbell he wanted something, and I quote, devastating to happen to Nafia. That karma would take care of her. Now, I don't know if I believe in karma, but I believe in justice, and justice has come knocking for Mr. Koch.
Ever since day one, I had been saying that, like, when my hell ends, their hell is going to start. Today is the beginning of the rest of my life.
And Nafia was visibly emotional inside the courtroom as Koch pleaded not guilty to charges including assault and possession of a weapon and noxious materials. You could see his expression as prosecutors shared the mounting evidence against him. His attorney, who spoke with us outside the courtroom, says he was just weeks away from graduating nursing school.
Life is over. Y'all heard that? Life is over for him. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole situation. So as we know, on March 24th, authorities have arrested Shaquille Koch, 31-year-old ex-boyfriend of Nafia. Now, the real question is, can you really consider him an ex-boyfriend? They only dated twice, but that's what they're calling him. So they called him jealous, possessive, and jittered. They say returning home from work when she was ambushed in her driveway and splashed with 70% sulfuric acid. The most recent suspect, Koch, allegedly planned the assault, hired the attacker, and drove the getaway car. The attacker was his high school friend. He was arraigned on Tuesday and pled guilty to charges including first-degree assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and unlawful possession of a noxious material. He was remanded without bail and faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted. So after the attack, Koch reportedly sent anonymous vulgar messages through a spoof number, cruelly referring to her as Freddy Krueger and claiming that it was karma would get her. Investigators were led to Campbell after he posted a music video titled Obsidian. Yes, so the first dude ended up making a rap song about it, saying that I splashed acid on you, basically. And they talked about he was devastated when she dumped him. But crazy situation. But she suffered severe second and third degree burns to her face, arms, and chest. The acid melted her contact lenses and left her blind in one eye. She has undergone years of reconstructive surgeries and expressed her emotional relief following the recent arrest. We have to hold men like this accountable. Men who get overly upset when they get rejected by a girl and do something crazy like splashing acid on her, on a woman's face. And then to bring your friend in with it, but the friend, it's his own fault. You willing to throw your life away to splash some acid on a girl who just dumped your friend? Now, I don't know, you can call me not a friend or not, but my friends know not to ask me something crazy like that. Absolutely wild situation, y'all. But let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know how you feel about it. They said he can get up to 25 years for that. But is that enough? Is 25 years enough for what he did? Y'all tell me your thoughts on the whole situation, y'all. Absolutely tragic. We're going to pivot now into our second topic. We're going to look at, and it looks like we got a Florida middle school stabbing, which it looks like 2 students and a teacher were attacked. Let's get over into it and figure out what exactly this situation is and what happened. Let's get over into it and see what we can find out, y'all. See what we can find out.
What we know as of this time, approximately 7:17 this morning, a suspect who is a student at Walton Middle School was dropped off at the entrance of Walton Middle School. The student who is ultimately the suspect, walked directly into a bathroom down a hallway. From the time he enters until he walks out of that bathroom is about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. When he walked out of the bathroom, he's masked and is armed with a sharp implement, where he suddenly attacks the first student he comes in contact with, stabbing him multiple times. He then subsequently separates from that individual. The victim runs. The suspect goes down a hall, attacks a teacher. She suffered injuries, a paraprofessional suffering injuries. He continued running down the hallway, at some point making contact with a third victim who was also a student. That individual was stabbed. At this point, the first victim was incapacitated because of these injuries, where a teacher was rendering aid. The suspect fled the scene. He was ultimately encountered by officers of the Phoenix Springs Police Department, actually Chief Deputy Coaston as well. They took him in custody in fairly close vicinity of Walton Middle School. At this point, there's no further danger to the public. This individual is in custody. He's being interviewed at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. We're going to make decisions on what is the appropriate charge, and that'll ultimately be the decision of the state's attorney's office. There's no extended risk to the public. This was handled very quickly from the time of this incident. Again, approximately 7:17, this individual, the suspect, was in custody within about 7 minutes.
Now this is a devastating situation. I do have some questions. I would like to know if he has any type of motive for why he did this. Sounds like he was just targeting random people. So did he have a grudge against the school, have a grudge against everyone? Was he just a troubled kid? Is he mentally ill? Crazy? How you want to put it? But let's keep going into this and see what else they got to say in this next video.
The grader in custody right now, accused of stabbing 2 students and an adult at Walton Middle School. At this hour, those victims remain in the hospital.
WEAR's Haley Samples and Copeland Welch both reporting tonight from the Walton County Sheriff's Office with the latest on the investigation. We'll start with Copeland. Good evening.
Good evening, Bob. Now, the Walton County Sheriff's Office wouldn't share what the motive was behind these attacks, but they did give us a timeline as for what happened.
Medic 7. Respond to stab gunshot or penetration trauma emergent response at 605 Bruce Avenue, Walton Middle School.
At 7:22, the Walton County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a stabbing at Walton Middle School.
The student who is ultimately the suspect, walked directly into a bathroom down a hallway. From the time he enters until he walks out of that bathroom is about 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Sheriff Michael Atkinson says the 7th grader walked out of the bathroom wearing a mask and what he calls a sharp implement. According to the sheriff, the suspect allegedly attacked the first student he saw, described as between 12 and 13 years old, stabbing them multiple times. The sheriff says that the victim was left, quote, incapacitated. The sheriff says the suspect continued down the hall, stabbing a school employee. Officials say the suspect then stabbed a third victim, a student, before running from the scene.
The suspect was in custody within about 7 minutes. The entire attack, the entire actual physical attack, took place in less than about 45 seconds.
7th grade, y'all. Who was thinking about this type of stuff in 7th grade? Stabbing someone? Now, have I thought about, especially in thinking about my middle school days, beating somebody up? Yes, I thought about that. Beating up a bully? Yes. But stabbing them? Never in my wildest thoughts. But let's keep going.
So as you can imagine, this happened very, very quickly. There was tremendous coordination with the Walton County School District, with the Phoenix Springs Police Department, and with our state's attorney's office. Everybody here worked very closely.
The sheriff says the stabbing happened before school. There were about 40 students in the building at the time of the attacks.
The student was got out of the car from his parents like a normal day, so there were no indicators that gave any light on this was about to occur.
Officials say a training was utilized Tuesday. School guardians and resource officers were on campus, and teachers rendered immediate life-saving aid.
At this point, there's no further danger to the public. This individual is in custody. He's being interviewed at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. We're going to make decisions on what is the appropriate charge, and that'll ultimately be the decision of the state's attorney's office.
Officials say the 3 victims of the stabbings were taken to the hospital. The 2 students are in critical condition, and the staff member has non-life-threatening injuries. Again, no word on the motive behind these attacks. Reporting live in Defuniak Springs, I'm Copeland Welch, WEAR News.
Well, as law enforcement continues their investigation, the community is now trying to process everything that happened.
WEAR's Haley Samples has been getting reaction from the community. Haley?
Yeah, Bob, Sue, questions have been swirling since the stabbing this morning. Many people wondering how this could ever happen in a quiet community like Defuniak Springs. Now, neighbors tell me it was a chaotic scene around 7:30 this morning. Deputies and paramedics all responding to the school, and one neighbor says he saw someone get placed into an ambulance and then later life-flighted from the scene. Now, this Tuesday marks the first day students return from spring break. Kids were still en route to school during and after the stabbing. The district rerouting all buses to the Walton County Fairgrounds for pickup. Several residents tell me they've never seen anything like this happen in Defuniak Springs. How does it make you feel knowing that this happened so close in the community?
Kind of worried, because what if it happens at my school too next? Or like maybe worse, like a gun.
School was canceled for today. District officials announced classes will resume tomorrow. Now, coming up at 6, I'll have more reaction from students and residents as they all try to wrap their heads around this morning's stabbing. Reporting live in Walton County, I'm Haley Sample.
It's becoming a bigger and bigger issue everywhere. Everywhere, teens are becoming, young teens are becoming more violent. And it's worrisome. Now, what is the reason for it? Is it social media? Is it the world's climate that we're in now? What is causing all this violence? Now, we got to wait to find out the reason. No matter what the reason is, he still needs to be punished for his actions. But I would like to know the reasons. Was he bullied? Was somebody bullying him? Is he just a bad kid? Did he just hate everyone? There needs to be some kind of reasoning. At least I want to hear it. Some people might be like, it doesn't matter what the reason is. And for the charges, no, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I would like to understand why he chose to do this, a 7th grader. But let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case and just see if we can find out anything more. So as we know, 2 7th grade students are in critical condition following the stabbing at Walton Middle School in Defuniak Springs, Florida on Tuesday morning. So the attack began at 7:17, shortly after the student was dropped off. A male student entered the school bathroom, emerged a few minutes later wearing a mask and armed with a sharp implement. It lasted around 45 seconds in total. Attacked a student while he was walking out the bathroom. Continued down the hallway, stabbed a school employee, and then attacked a 3rd student before fleeing to the back door. So 2 students, both ages 12 and 13, were life-flighted to the hospital, and they still remain in critical condition as we talk. The paraprofessional who reportedly put themselves in harm's way to protect the students was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. See, that is what a teacher is supposed to do. That is what I expect my child's teacher to do. Right? Of course, I don't know if I would expect them to lay down their lives for the kids. But do something at least. Throw a chair at the kid, something. So as we know, the 7th grader was at school and was taken into custody by deputies around about 7 minutes after the attack, roughly a block away from the campus. Authorities have declined to discuss a possible motive at the time as the investigation remains active. This is a tragic situation. So the 12-year-old suspect in the stabbing, following a review for the school surveillance footage, he has facing 6 charges: attempted murder, 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, wearing a mask during the commission of a felony. I didn't even know that was a crime. Tampering with evidence. Investigators recovered a kitchen knife from a nearby retention pond. And then disrupting a school function. The suspect is currently being held with no bond at a secure juvenile detention center in Florida. While the charges have been filed, the Walton County Sheriff's Office and State Attorney's Office noted that they are subject to change with the investigation continues. Absolutely crazy. Now, I would like to know what the parents' thoughts about this. Of course, you know how a parent will say that can't be my child. He must be making a mistake. But obviously, he's the one who did it. So, I mean, we can get away from they made a mistake. But what was going on in his life? They got to go through cell phone information. They got to go through his computer history. They got to do a deep dive into this child's background to understand where this all came from. Was somebody bullying him? That's the majority of the time we've seen this type of stuff is somebody was getting bullied. We'll have to see if that's the same case here. But let me know your thoughts on this situation, y'all. How much time do you think he should get? And do you think, depending on the place, it's possible he could be charged as an adult? So what are your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all? Absolutely tragic. We're going to pivot now into our third topic we're going to be discussing today. And we're sticking with schools. We got to go to another school where, in a crazy situation, a mother of a child decides to kidnap her suspected child's bully. But the other mother are saying that he wasn't a bully at all. So let's get over into it. We got a few videos to look at, and then of course we'll go over to the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case. Kidnapped a bully. Yes, I love my kid. Yes, I think you need to protect your children, but you can't go too far where you end up for some reason you end up leaving their life because you're in jail. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it.
Thanks for watching 2 News at 6 tonight. A mother is now accused of kidnapping and threatening an 11-year-old for bullying one of her children.
Yeah, tonight 2 News is looking into these charges and what the mother claims actually happened. Leslie Duarte has more tonight.
Yeah, Mark, Heidi, I spoke to her off camera, and Shannon Tafuga is facing some serious charges, but she says there's more to that story. These court documents state Shannon Tafuga is facing second-degree child kidnapping and aggravated child abuse charges. According to the documents, Tafuga stopped an 11-year-old boy on his bike to confront him for bullying her kids. Nate Krepis with the Disability Law Center says they do not condone this behavior she is accused of.
Obviously, that is not the way to respond. I mean, I don't think anyone should take that level of action on their own.
The documents allege Tafuga made the child get in her car and took him to her house to apologize to her kids, threatened him, and drove him home. Off camera, Tafuga told 2 News that the child has a history of bullying her children, some with disabilities. Her attorney sent us this statement that in part said they deny the allegations made, they believe these allegations stem from a troubled child and are not accurate, and that they look forward to presenting the evidence regarding the repeat challenges Tafuga's children have faced. Who does the responsibility fall on?
If a school is aware of bullying on the basis of disability, they have an obligation to do something about it.
What if the bullying happened outside of the school?
I mean, obviously, I think it depends on what it is. You know, I mean, again, I think if it is something that rises to the level of, you know, some type of crime or something, I think obviously you could talk to law enforcement.
I walked into the Provo City School District to ask them about this. They sent me this statement. Due to student privacy laws, Provo City School District is unable to discuss discipline or behavioral records related to any individual student, and added they cannot comment on an ongoing legal investigation. I also reached out to Provo City Police Department. They told me Tafuga was a city employee, and because of that, Orem Police Department is conducting the investigation to avoid conflict of interest. They also told me that she was a crossing guard at the time of the allegations, but is no longer a city employee.
Fired. Now, it's a tricky situation. First things first. We gotta say how it is. If the child is getting bullied at school, the school needs to do something about it. If they don't, then I can understand the parent getting involved and talking to the school. But there's a difference between getting involved and talking to the school than grabbing a kid, putting him in your car, and then taking him to your house where you basically holding him against his will. That's a clear sign of kidnapping. I don't know how she's going to get around that. But talk to the school. And the school, yes, they need to be aware of when bullying stuff like this happens or any kind of bullying case. And they need to take actions immediately to stop it. Because terrible things happen when kids get pushed too far and they make stupid choices. But let's go over into this next video and see what else we can find out about this whole case. Let's jump into it.
Right now, a Provo mother is facing kidnapping charges after forcing a boy to apologize to her daughter for alleged bullying.
But now that boy's mother is speaking out. News specialist Garna Mejia has the latest from Provo. Garna, what's going on?
Yeah, well, the boy's mother says this has been a problem for over a year, alleging it was the girl who was harassing her son. Now, usually prosecutors tell us you'd expect parents to make situations better, but in this case, they allege the girl's mom took a bad situation and made it worse.
The last 2 years, she's been bothering my son.
Kimberly Colazzo says a girl had a crush on her 11-year-old son, but it went too far.
One day, he got fed up with the fact that she just doesn't leave him alone.
Colazzo says her son rejected the girl with an unkind comment, but then the girl's mother stepped in and allegedly kidnapped the boy, demanding an apology.
Grabbed him by the arm and said he was going with her to apologize to her daughter, and she put him in her vehicle and took him to her home and sat him on her couch.
Colazzo says her son was threatened and forced to apologize to the girl before being released.
And they basically opened their door and told him to get the F out, and he ran all the way home.
The September 2025 incident has led to serious child abuse and kidnapping charges for the girl's mother, 40-year-old Shannon Marie Tafuga.
Even if so they didn't even drop him back off. We'll have to confirm that with the AI breakdown, but that is, yeah, you got to be charged.
If your child's being bullied, the law doesn't give you permission to kidnap that child.
Tonight, Tafuga's attorney released this statement saying in part, they respectfully deny the allegations, describing their filing as a symptom of our society's failings, where children were once held accountable by their own parents. But Colazzo says Tafuga escalated the incident.
Had she come knock on my door like an adult and said, hey, our kids are having issues, can we speak? I would have gladly let her in and we could have handled the situation, but not once did she ever try. I've never met this woman.
And well, Tafuga police tell us that she was actually working as a school crossing guard when the incident happened. Provo police say she is no longer employed with them. Now, prosecutors tell me that in reference to those charges, they've been lowered to second-degree felonies, which means that they carry a potential punishment of 1 to 15 years in prison. In Provo, I'm Garna Mejia.
That's still too much time to be spending away from your kids. All this because you suspected some bullying. We don't know the situation. He could have been bullying her. He could have just said a mean word to her because he was trying to get her away from him. We don't know the exact situation. But even though you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot grab a kid and take them to your home against their will. I feel like that's obvious. But let's go over until we got one more video to get into just to see if they tell us any more details about this.
News tonight, taking matters into their own hands. We have an update to a story that we brought you last night. We told you a Provo mother is charged with kidnapping after police say she took her child's bully to her house and threatened to beat the 11-year-old boy.
Well, tonight we're hearing from the mother of that boy, and she says there's two sides to the story, and now she wants to tell hers.
He could barely speak. He was so scared. He didn't even go back for his bike because he couldn't handle it.
Well, you just heard from Amberly Collazo. She says Shannon Tafuga's daughter was terrorizing her son over the course of a few years. So she said as a response, her son called the girl an insulting name, something Amberly says she does not approve of. Well, that's when police documents say Shannon Tafuga got involved herself, allegedly kidnapping the boy to make him apologize to her daughter. Amberly claims Shannon doesn't feel bad about what happened, and because of this, she now wants justice.
It makes me sad for anybody's mother to like go away, you know, because every parent needs their mom. So I was like, I don't want to see that. But then after hearing how she was kind of not remorseful and not really caring and basically said she should have ran him over, I was like, well, honestly, I hope that she gets whatever she deserves because this is wrong and my son's traumatized.
So that's Amberly's side of things. Pushing back, though, Shannon's lawyers deny those allegations. They say Shannon's charges are a symptom of society's failure to keep children accountable to their parents. Shannon Tafuga is not in police custody, but is expected to be at future court dates. We'll keep you posted on that.
Wow. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case. What are your thoughts? Who are you siding with? At the end of the day, I don't know who was being bullied. I don't know if one was harassing another. But I do know for a fact, no matter what the case is, you cannot kidnap a child. Now, some people might say that might not even be considered kidnapping, but if someone told my son to come with them or else, or they're going to beat him up, that sounds like kidnapping to me, parent or not. Let's go over into this AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information. So as we know, 40-year-old Utah mom Shannon was recently charged with second-degree felony kidnapping and second-degree felony aggravated child abuse. So this situation happened on September 17th, 2025. So the mother reportedly drove around her neighborhood looking for the boy. When she spotted him on his bike, she blocked his path and made him get into the vehicle. She drove him to the home without his parents' knowledge or permission, where she forced him to apologize to her child. After the apology, she allegedly threatened to have her husband beat up the boy and told him he was lucky she hadn't run over his bike. The boy was eventually returned to his home later that day. So they were formally filed charges on Monday, March 23rd. She was a crossing guard at the time of the incident, but is no longer employed. Yes, she lost her job. The investigation caused the 11-year-old serious emotional distress, resulting in high anxiety and significant changes to his daily routine. The attorney for the mother denied the allegations, claiming that the charges stem from a troubled child, and highlighted the elementary school's ongoing issue with bullying. At the end, yes or no, did you force this kid to go to your home without his parents' permission? I think that's as simple as that. That tells me if you are guilty or not right there. So she remains out of custody and is scheduled to have a hearing on April 30th. So the 11-year-old boy's mother, as we know, stated that her son had reached a breaking point after being harassed by the daughter. And they said he had spoken, if she would have spoken her parent to parent rather than kidnapping her son, everything would have happened. 100%. I am in agreement with the parts of the boy's mother that said that, yes, have a conversation with them. Don't just grab my son and take him to your house. You could have been a predator. We got to be honest about it. We live in that type of world. But we'll have to find out if he was bullying her or she was just harassing him because she liked him. But that doesn't change the charges that the mother needs to get. Simple as that. It sounds like kidnapping to me, if he was bullying or if he wasn't. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. How would you feel if that was your son? Or would you do the same thing as her if that was your daughter? Tell me what your thoughts are, y'all. It's a crazy situation. Let's pivot over into our last topic we're going to be discussing today. And you know what? We got to go over to some body cam footage. Yes, I love some body cam footage. So this body cam footage that popped up today, you know, I like to do the most recent stuff. So the title is a craziness. But we got a man attacks a blind woman as his 44th crime. Yes, he has committed 44 crimes. I'm assuming he has 44 past charges. But let's get over into it and see what this whole situation is about and just give our thoughts on this whole thing, y'all. Let's jump over into it and see what we can find out.
Hey, sir. You all right? I got an ambulance coming to check you out. Can you see out of your left eye?
My left.
For the most part, are you all right?
My head is like bruised here. I got a lump.
You got lumps all over, brother.
He was punching me around the glass. The glass started with that lady there. Blind. He was punching her first.
All right, I'm gonna check on her quick. I'll be right back with you. Hey, man. I know. I got an ambulance coming for you.
I'm okay.
Ma'am,
Just punched me in the face.
I'm a police officer. I'm gonna touch your forehead. Okay. I just want to move your hair. Okay. All right. So you got some cuts on your face. You feeling dizzy, lightheaded, anything like that?
My mouth hurts. I think he knocked one of my teeth out.
Okay. Can you open your mouth for me? Yeah, you do have a little blood in your mouth. Okay. I have an ambulance coming to talk to you, ma'am. What's your name?
Maggie.
Maggie. What happened?
There was a man sitting next to me, and all of a sudden, I heard him fussing at these two ladies in the back, calling them bitches and saying all kind of nasty things about them, and that made me angry. So I turned to him and told him to not do that, and then he just swung on me.
Okay. So you told him not to fuss at the ladies in the back, and he just hauled off and hit you?
I said, don't talk to her like that. And then he started yelling at me, and then he hit me, and then he went to go get off the bus, and the door was shut, so he started wailing on the driver. From my understanding, I didn't see that part because I'm blind, but I heard it.
I haven't.
Now tell me your thoughts on it. How do y'all feel? I want to say this is why you just need to mind your business, but you see someone yelling at women and stuff like that, you might jump, especially, okay, it's different if he started looking like he was going to hit one of the women, but him yelling at her, should she have minded her business? But she tried to do the right thing, tell him to calm down and stop talking to them like that. And a man who cannot control his emotions beat her. And then when the bus driver wouldn't open the door, he beat the bus driver. Sounds like he needs to go to jail to me.
An ambulance coming to talk to you. Just sit tight, okay? Did all y'all see this?
Yes.
Good deal. Do you mind hanging out for just a minute? I'm going to have to talk to everyone if you're okay with it. You're not held here. If you guys want to leave, just let me know because I can talk to you really quick before I go. I got a lot to do before I go. I'm going to have an ambulance that's come check them both out first. Is anybody else injured?
No.
Nobody else is injured?
No.
Okay.
I was sitting right here.
Yep.
He jumped up right there where you sit there and kicked the devil out of me.
So you were sitting right here?
I was sitting right here. He jumped up and took his foot and he kicked me.
Kicked you? How many times did he kick you?
He kicked me about one time. He kicked me hard. After he kicked me, they said, you better shut the f*** up, I'll knock your ass out. He jumped up and grabbed the man off of him.
So you essentially saw him fussing at them. He jumps up and starts wailing on her. That's when you stepped in and grabbed him.
When he jumped over there in her face.
That's when he jumped up and grabbed her.
Yeah.
When he jumped up and started hitting her, was he hitting her with closed fists or could you see her?
He brought me down, bam, bam.
Yep, over
He
that.
got down.
What happened from your perspective?
Well, I saw him punching the lady right there, the blind lady. He was punching her in the face. I don't know what was going on, but she said something to him. He came over and started punching her in the face, punching me out. And I'm watching this, so I got on the radio. He saw that I wouldn't open the doors. He wanted me to open the door. He was trying to get through the glass. He couldn't, so he ripped the glass off.
So that was separating you from the passengers, right?
Yeah.
And he pulled it and just started attacking you?
Yeah.
Physically? Was he, I know it sounds like a dumb question, was he hitting you with closed fists?
Yeah.
Punching you? And he just wanted to be let off, essentially? That's why he went to attacking you?
Yeah. I was almost unconscious. I had to let him off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because,
Is there any way we can start working on getting these cameras up? What'd this guy look like?
Okay, he had on tan pair of pants, tan long sleeve shirt, like a long john shirt, and a blue cap. And his hand said Savannah. Yeah, he got gold in his mouth. But he real nasty. He's a nice looking gentleman, but he got just something wrong.
Thank you guys. Any y'all on the bus?
Yeah, we all go.
Good deal.
I'm sitting back here.
Yep.
I heard that little lady right there was saying he stepped on her foot or something. She kept saying, well, you could have said, excuse me or something. So he kept on. So finally he started using profanity. And he stood up and he was cursing her. And he kept acting like he might was going to hit her or stuff. So, you know, everybody's scared. So I didn't know that the other lady was blind who he hit. So he kept telling her to stay out of it. So finally she said one more thing and he just went to beating on her. So the driver, I thought maybe he was trying to hold him in there so y'all might come and catch him in there. So he got mad. He kept saying, open this door, open this door. He went back and he tore the whole thing. He just pulled the whole thing right back and was trying to pull him from out of there or whatever. Then we scared he might have a gun.
Yeah.
So finally when that door got open, he jumped out and ran.
So driver is agged out. His eyes are swelling shut. This dude straight up tore the dividing partition off to physically attack him. Beat the shit out of a blind woman. Lacerations all over her face. After physically assaulting another elderly female in here, was wrestled to the ground by the gentleman in the high visibility vest. Driver tried to keep the guy on the bus so we could get here and take him into custody. And that's when the dude just ripped the partition off and went to town. He was like, I was losing consciousness, so I finally just let him out. I got to get pictures of him. If you could work with Kat on getting video footage, if you could talk to female in the black here and the blue right here, that'd be
I'll get their statements, I'll get their information, I'll do supplemental, okay?
Do you mind if I grab a picture of your face to document your injuries, if you don't mind? Is that okay?
That's what you have to do.
I do. You're pretty busted up.
Are y'all working on getting camera footage?
Yeah, we're calling the safety manager because he can get it immediately.
Do you mind if I take some photographs of your injuries?
Yeah, but can I go somewhere else?
Yes. Where do you want to go?
Anywhere.
Do you want to go sit at the rear of my car, away from everyone?
Yes,
we can bring you out there. You may want to go the other way. You got broken glass on the ground over here.
I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, I'm okay. You'll be all right. God bless you. Don't hold me. Yeah, God bless you.
While police are getting all the information they can about the suspect, they have no idea he's still in the area, just a few blocks away.
Well, everyone's out here looking for him, so what'd you see? What happened?
He's starting to beating the white lady. He can't stop bleeding, and I gave her a lot of napkin. I'm sorry, is that normal?
No.
Okay.
Not normal. That's
scary.
This would be my first. I've been here 5 years.
That's really scary because blood everywhere.
I'm all bloody, you know. I'm going to get blood on stuff.
You're okay. My main concern is if you want to be more comfortable back here, that's fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and turn up the air for you. I'm not going to shut you in. I know it gets a little claustrophobic back here. So, how you doing, man?
All right. Thank you for coming.
Sorry I wasn't sooner, but thank you for sticking around and taking care of her. I still have ambulances coming for you both. Do you mind if I photograph your injuries now?
Sure.
Any point did you feel like you were going to lose consciousness?
I don't know. It was kind of a blur when she started hitting me, but I didn't fall down or anything.
Okay. You have a pretty good laceration right below your left eye.
My eyes aren't real, so they're not damaged.
Okay. Well, so your face is real, right?
Yes.
And that's damaged, and that's not what I want to see.
But it did make one of my prosthetic eyes flip upside down, which really scared the other people on the bus.
I'm sure. Does that give you a good laugh?
Not really.
No, you're okay. This is going to sound like a real dumb question. If we can find him, do you want to press charges for battery?
I don't know. I don't think so. The other people said it seemed like he was on drugs or having a mental health issue. I don't know. I don't really feel like that's going to help anybody.
Okay. So this is what I'll tell you, is if you don't want to press charges and they don't want to press charges, he's probably not going to get arrested. If you do want to press charges, it's not something that's going to require you to go to court all the time or do anything like that. We handle that.
He attacked the bus driver, and that's unsafe for everyone.
Absolutely. He severely injured the bus driver, okay? And he could have severely injured you more so than you are, or injured other people on that bus. And regardless of drugs or mental health, there's a way we have to act in public, and usually
100%. I love how he said, no matter drugs or mental health, there's a way we gotta act.
the arrest isn't the first step in getting some of that help.
Well, I won't be able to ID him, but if everyone else can, then I would consider pressing charges. I don't really know how any of this works.
There's no pressure at all. Right now, my main concern is I want to get you medically cared for. Again, you're free to leave at any point. If you say, bring me home, I don't want to talk to you guys anymore, I'll do that, okay? We're probably going to have a detective come out and investigate this one because the bus driver's pretty injured.
I like him. I know him. He drives me home every day.
So he seems like a very nice guy. Seems like he was looking out for you and everyone on the bus was trying to look out for each other. Are you okay with waiting back here for just a minute? minute. I'll come back and check on you, okay?
Yeah, I'm good. You've been very kind. Just so you guys know, I can't see a daggone thing.
I know, you're good. Hang tight. I'll leave this door open for you.
Police are now able to obtain the surveillance footage of the attack. The suspect is seen yelling at the elderly woman and getting in her face before Maggie, the blind woman, says something to him. He then gets in her face very quickly as if he's going to assault her. Maggie then stands up to defend herself, and the suspect begins hitting her repeatedly. The man with the high visibility vest then jumps in to protect Maggie and tackles the suspect, bringing him to the front near the bus driver. The suspect then notices the bus driver calling for police using his radio and tries to force him to open the door so he can leave. When the bus driver refuses, the suspect begins yanking on and reaching around the glass partition to force the driver to open the door. The suspect then completely destroys the glass partition and begins beating the bus driver, punching him 10 times before the driver has to oblige him, due to him later saying he was about to lose consciousness. The suspect then leaves the scene. An officer now locates the suspect a couple blocks away from the crime scene and attempts to detain him.
Listen, I've been cool with you, man. I'm gonna ask you to stand up though, turn around, put your hands behind your back real quick.
What I did?
We gotta figure some things out, okay?
What for what?
We got a call that came down. Description very well matches you. It probably isn't you, but we have to figure some stuff out. So.
Man, listen, I just walked up here. I didn't do shit.
Up from where?
I just walked up here from this way. It got me to
I got you. I've seen like about 4 other guys wearing beige. So we're gonna be a quick 1-2, figure it out, and then we'll be done, man.
Figure it out, man. I mean, I just had to stand up with my hand behind my back. I ain't do nothing.
I got you, but that's why we got to figure it out. So it's just going to be a brief detention, all right, man?
I didn't do nothing. So why you put your hands on me, man?
Listen.
I didn't do nothing, man. I just walked up here.
Here's how it's going to happen. I'm asking you.
I didn't do nothing. So what you asking me?
Can I say something?
Sure.
So how can, if you say y'all seen other guys with baby description?
They're being stopped as well. They ain't the only. He ain't the only one.
Well, I ain't seen nobody stop but me. That's not about to happen.
I understand that, but dude, we have a job we have to do. Okay.
You have a job, but I didn't do nothing, man. So what you mean? I got to put my hand behind my back until you figure something out. Go ahead.
Question: you gonna throw him to the ground or not? I mean, come on now. What are we gonna do now?
That's how this works.
It's not how it works.
We got.
I just walked up.
Proper description.
How you know it's me?
Well, I didn't say it was you.
So what the f you talking about putting my hand behind my back for?
Listen, brother. Yeah, just calm down.
I am calm, but you can't now.
I got you. So
I didn't do nothing. I just walked up here. I just walked up here.
I got you.
33 Alpha 1.
Like I said, I'm asking you nicely.
Every description matches. The hat, the beige, the gold in his mouth. I'd have threw him on the ground. I mean, some people might say, oh, you're violating their rights. I'd have threw him on the ground quick.
To help us out to make the situation
I'm not
go.
helping you out.
33
I didn't do nothing.
You're going to be out with who?
So again, what happens when I ask and it doesn't happen? Like you don't help us out here, right? We're gonna have to use force.
Use force? You mean you're gonna use force?
Like I'm saying, we're trying to figure out an incident.
And you're gonna have to figure it out. But it ain't got nothing to do with me. So you have to figure it out.
Like I'm saying, we're going to briefly detain you.
You ain't about to briefly detain shit, because I didn't do shit. So that's not about to happen. You're not about to briefly detain nothing, man. Because I didn't do nothing. I just walked up here.
Like I said, man, I'm giving you a lot of chances.
You ain't giving me no chances, man. How you giving me some chances? I just walked up here, you gonna tell me to put my hands behind my back for nothing? Man, f you.
Yes.
Put my hand behind my back for nothing. I ain't do shit. What? I ain't do shit. So what the hell are you talking about?
I don't want to do this, but
man, I'm not putting my hand behind my back on shit. I didn't do shit, nigga. The f you talking about, nigga?
We y'all detaining, what y'all gonna do?
You ain't about to stand. Nah, I ain't no, he ain't gotta stand. Nothing.
I'm trying to figure it out,
you ain't gotta be part of nothing.
Hey
man, don't run up on me. I ain't do shit.
Yep.
I was just trying to inform you that 36 and 33 is how.
He knew he did something wrong. At least that's my thinking. Come on now. At the end of the day, I've said this several times. If you think they're violating your rights, I'm just going to apply, and then I'm going to call my lawyer. I'm not going to fight, because I'd rather deal with this in court than getting my head cracked in. Then I might end up dead if if a cop truly doesn't care. But he knew what he did.
With that subject,
The right hand.
36 Alpha 1. Start me another unit down here and possibly a supervisor for use of force.
Yeah, see supervisor. Cause I ain't even.
I'll be in route.
I just walked up here. And you gonna grab me and tell me I'm under arrest for nothing?
He's good. He's good.
Hey man, if you gonna get
just let
off me, man.
I got this. Switch.
I'm gonna ask you one more time to get off me.
Okay. Lift your leg.
$33. We got him detained.
Did you get off the cat bus after getting out of Gateway? Okay. Well, like I said, we're trying to figure it out, and you being aggressive towards us.
Aggressive.
When I'm asking you to do simple things, you just walked up here from where?
From the damn I don't fucking know.
How'd your hands get all torn up?
I just came up here. I ain't do nothing. I just walked up here. They pull up saying I fit the description or something. I just walked up here.
You want to set him up?
Come on, brother. Set up for me. Why do you have to do this?
The officer gave him plenty of chances.
I ain't do shit. What the f you talking about?
Why didn't
bro?
you just like listen when I was talking to you about what we were
bro, how
doing?
you gonna pull up on me and tell me I fit the description on something? I just walked up there.
You think I would just make that up?
The suspect is now transported to the hospital for the use of force, where he still isn't cooperative.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Jump in, broken, you get knocked out.
I never get knocked out. Okay. Never.
Sit down, dude.
Never. Never. Time by.
In the car.
Take that man to jail, bro.
You doing all that with that bag with the cuffs on me. You won't ever do this cuffs on me. I promise you that.
Do it either way.
Light up, I foot your ass, though. Yeah, I'll never get knocked out. Never. What the f you gonna do?
This incident took place in Chatham County, Georgia, in June 2025 on a Chatham area transit bus, also known as a CAT bus. The arrested suspect, 40-year-old Brandon Collier, has a lengthy criminal history involving 43 prior arrests in Chatham County dating all the way back to 2002 for crimes such as aggravated battery, aggravated assault, drug possession, obstruction, resisting, terroristic threats, and cruelty to children. In fact, just months prior to the bus attack, Brandon was arrested for threatening victims while holding an upside-down liquor bottle as a weapon in public, which led to him fighting Savannah police officers when they confronted him. For that incident, he was charged with 2 counts of felony willful obstruction by threats or violence, simple battery, terroristic threats, possession of drug-related objects, and probation violation. He was able to bond out of jail and was released back into the public.
How in the F do you let this man bond out? Come on now, what are we talking about? Now he done beat up blind women and beat a bus driver?
This incident, along with his many prior arrests, the bus attack sparked public outrage in the area as local officials, including the mayor of Savannah, condemned the attack. Officials from CAT also released statements saying they were deeply disturbed by the attack and that safety protocols would be reviewed and improved following the attack. They have since ordered new safety shields for the CAT buses and are in the beginning stages of upgrading their training for bus drivers. They also announced that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated and have terminated Brandon's rider privileges indefinitely. Following the bus attack, Brandon was charged with 2 counts of felony aggravated assault, 2 counts of felony aggravated battery, felony exploitation and intimidation of a disabled adult or elderly person, felony second-degree criminal damage to property, and 2 counts of obstruction. In October 2025, Brandon took a plea deal for both the bus incident and the incident where he threatened people with a liquor bottle and fought police. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of aggravated battery, 1 count of aggravated assault, exploitation and intimidation of a disabled or elderly person, second-degree criminal damage to property, 1 count of willful obstruction by threats or violence, and terroristic threats, while all other charges were dismissed. Brandon was then sentenced to 10 years in prison and 10 years of probation, and was sentenced as a repeat offender, meaning he must serve the prison portion without parole eligibility. The victims, while they both survived, suffered serious and disfiguring injuries to their faces. One of Maggie's glass eyes was rendered unusable, and multiple of her teeth appeared to be chipped or broken. She and the bus driver were taken to the hospital and treated for their injuries. They have since made a lengthy and arduous recovery.
You know what's scary? You never really know.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. This is the world we live in. I'm happy that he got 10 years, and because he's a repeat offender, he got to serve the full 10 before he can get out and be on 10 years of probation or go back to jail if he does something else. But it still begs the question. I feel like he should have been locked up long ago. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. That was a crazy body cam review. And just let me know your thoughts. But that is it for the show today, y'all. Like always, we talk about a lot of crazy things. If you ever disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment or let's talk about it. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I truly understood everything. But I will just give you how I'm feeling. So you tell me how you feeling. But you already know, y'all, the best way to show your support is just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. These videos will be broken down so you can go back and watch the one you want, or just hit that like button again if you want to. Hey, I'm fine with either one. But that's it for now, y'all. Y'all already know I got to play that outro. That's it. Peace.